All right, springtime 2025, first week of April. I'm gonna take my tires off, clean my rims, check my brakes. I bought new shocks for the motorhome Tiffin Breeze 32BR diesel pusher. Get the covers off. Usually you would normally use this bad boy and that bar to put the lug nuts back on, but I got this bad boy last year, actually a couple years ago, so I don't need this no more, or that. It comes with the sockets. These are smaller, so you need that adapter. Goes with this really light extension. This is just, once you get them loose, you can just turn it off, put the handle there, and then what you do is you put it on the socket. Sometimes they don't fit, so you can turn this thing until it slowly pushes on the lug nut. And you always want to make sure, this one's already loose, I already did this one, but you don't want it against the bare bolt there. You always want it to go against that, or otherwise you're going to screw the threads up. So once you got it on, you put that handle on. And I was a millwright years ago before I was an electrician. I'm an electrician now, retired. But it's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So we're going to go to the left. I'm going this one-handed. This is how easy this is. Otherwise, you would have to use that big old hammer I got. So, like I said, you don't want to, you always want to go, this one's loose, this one was loose, but you never want to put it against the bare stud, you know, because you screw up those threads. And then when I go to put these back on, there's a chart that comes with it, and then you calculate what your the wrench would be for how many turns. Like, I believe this was like 75 turns to the right to tighten it up for the what I needed to use that bar. And then the first time I used this, I took that bar, put it on here, and checked every one of the nuts, lug nuts, and it was perfect, dead on. So I mean, using that chart and this unit, it was just awesome. I mean, you could do this on the road. You don't even need any air tools. And my Tiffin comes with an air tank attachment for air line. You know, I can put air in my tires, and if I needed to, if I had to use that big jack, but I don't need to anymore with this thing. So like I said, using the chart and checking it with the torque wrench, these things were right on. So now I know, I have it marked in the motorhome how many times I got to turn this to the right. All you got to do is snug the lug nuts up all the way around, snug them till this thing is flat, you know, pushed up against it nice and even all the way around, and then turn this as many times as what your torque wrench or your manual says that these need to be torqued at. And like I said, I'm just guessing. I don't have the chart on me. It's inside the motorhome, and it'll be a few days before I put these back on, because I also bought shocks. I'm putting new Coney shocks on, and while I'm at it, I'm checking the brakes, and if I need brakes, I'll put brakes on. So it's no big deal. The opposite, like I said, is if you just turn it to the right, and the chart will tell you how many times you need to turn it. And I just said it was dead on, so I know it's accurate using the big old torque wrench. And I no longer need this thing anymore. So this thing's awesome. So I got the other side to do, I'll take the brakes off, get the shocks off, put the new ones back on. They don't come till Monday. This is Saturday. And then I'll jack up the front and check the brakes and put the shocks on the front and clean up the rims. This been sitting all winter. Normally we're in Arizona, but we didn't go this year. But all right, that's about it. This thing is awesome. Better than using those big old tools.